Okay, let's try it again. This is the final try. This is definitely, hopefully this works out this time. I'm just going to quickly write you a message that I'm going live with the mobile function, whatever, with the phone. So hang on, just 1 minute. It is now. It's working finally. Yes. Okay, you guys are here. Great. Oh my God, there's so many questions immediately. Okay, I'm just gonna let the other guys know that I'm online. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, you guys. All right. Okay, I just saw someone ask me, when did I start my training? Okay, pace yourself with the questions, please. Okay, I started my training in 2007. Yeah, 2007. It took me about 1.5 years to complete. I was fairly quick because I did the theory all in Germany, and the rest of it I did in Florida. I went to Vero Beach, Florida, and did most of my flying over there, and it was just beautiful sunshine, so I was out and about flying all the time. Yeah, that worked out great. And then I was finished when in 2009-ish, sort of. Yeah, end of 2009. I was completed the training. Okay, good. What else would you want to know? God, what? Good God. So that's a good question. A lot of people ask me if I can speak German. Yes, I do speak German. But I prefer to speak English, to be fair. Obviously most of my friends are German because I live in Munich, but I would say I speak 50-50 English to German most of the time. So yeah, I know a lot of people want me to say something German, but not today. Okay. What else? My favorite approach. Okay, I think you've seen many of the videos when I went into Funchal, Madeira in Portugal. Amazing. It's actually not me flying, it's a captain's landing only, but it's definitely really challenging, and you really have to be a good co-pilot to assist your captain in the approach, and viewing wise for the view it's just absolutely fantastic. And yeah, that's one of the good approaches. And all the approaches to the Canary Islands, because I want to say, I hope a few viewers are here from the Canary Islands, but most of the runways are aligned completely in the wrong direction of the wind. So it's very often a 90 degrees offset wind, meaning a crosswind, and that makes it really challenging, especially you mostly go there with the A321 fully booked, I mean completely full, and so it's good fun flying there, yeah. Okay, how old am I? Well, give it a good guess. I am 33 years old, yeah. How much did it cost? Okay, that's this question comes up a lot. How expensive was my flight school training? As I did it in Germany and most of the part in America, the part in America was actually cheaper. If I would have done it in Germany, it would have been slightly more expensive. And I eventually paid roughly, I want to say 60,000 euros. How I paid for that, I will let you know in a video, because it's actually it's a nice story. Obviously, I had to borrow some money for that, but the way of how I repaid the money or that loan is actually quite an impressive story. So I'll get back to you that in probably one of the first videos coming up in January. Why does everyone want to know if I can speak German? Yes, I do speak German. My height, I am 184. I don't know how much that in inches is, but tall enough. Have I ever crashed? No, I've never crashed. Have I ever watched a Mayday, the air crash investigation videos? There are, I must say, some of them are pretty good. You can learn a little of them, but it's not like I would regularly watch it, you know, put on my TV just to watch that, so no. Did I play the FSX in the flight simulators before I did that? Yes, I did. I didn't really use it a lot. I actually used it more whilst I was in flight training, because there's a lot of things you can like really save a lot of money on, because when you go in and play with the simulator, For example, you have to do a lot of holding calculations, radial intercept, and all sorts of weird stuff, and that just is a lot of time on the plane, and you can save that by doing it on the flight simulator. So I can highly recommend, if you want to become a pilot, definitely get some training on the flight simulator. It's definitely great help. Obviously, it's a bit different than in the actual plane, but you know, it's a great procedure trainer, as you would say. So yeah, definitely stick to that. God, these questions are rushing through. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. All right, slow down. All right, can I hold? Oh, there you go. What is my favorite airplane? Was ist mein Lieblingsflugzeug? Okay, there you go. It's a German sentence. Well, to be fair, I am a huge... I love the Concorde. Obviously, I'm never going to fly it. But I like most of the Airbus models. I am not the biggest fan of the A380. Just shape-wise, I think it looks a bit odd. I am a huge fan of the A350. Yeah, so if I get the chance to fly the A350 one day, that'll be a dream come true. Okay, I'm going to have to slow down again. When do I get my 4th stripe? Well, when I get a new job. Okay, let me see. Have I ever made a big mistake in flight? Not that I really know of. No, not really. I mean, you do minor little mistakes, especially if you get really, really tired. But that is, I think, within limits. But nothing serious, meaning I never broke anything or didn't, you know, come off a taxiway or whatever. No, nothing serious than that. How long have I been flying? Well, good question. I've been in the industry since 2010 in the airline industry, but I did 2 years of skydiving, piloting, and I did 1 year in the executive flying. So effectively, I think I've been flying since 2009, sort of, yeah. Am I interested in working for Virgin Atlantic? That's a good question. Virgin Atlantic definitely is a great company. I'm a huge fan of Richard Branson. He's very inspiring to me. Yeah, if they're hiring, I'll definitely apply to them. Sure. Did I like the Airbus A321? I prefer the A321 more than the 19. The 19 is like a little moped. It's quick. It's fun. It's quick. I mean, if you need to get, you know, descend quickly, then the A318, oh sorry, the 19 is great for that. The A321, I actually think is easier to land. A lot of people say that the heavier the plane becomes, it's easier to land. I actually agree on that. Okay. Did you ever fly a Boeing? That is a very good question. No, I never have flown a Boeing. Actually, just recently, I had to take some simulator sessions to prepare myself for a screening on a reasonably big Boeing. So it was a great experience. I have to admit that flying a Boeing is a huge difference to fly the Airbus. Airbus is... I'm not going to say easy to fly, but it's definitely different. I like to compare it... The Airbus is like driving a car with automatic gearbox, and the Boeing is driving a manual gearbox. But when I did the sim screening in the Boeing, it was like I was driving a automatic gearbox car for 10 years, and then I had to jump into a manual gearbox car, and you know, be really nervous about it. But I mean, in the end, it's a plane, but it has a trim wheel which you don't have on the Airbus, and it's so sensitive, crazy sensitive compared to the Airbus. So, but definitely a great plane. Okay, I have to slow it down again. God. Okay, Luca Hoffman is asking me in German if I especially put on the uniform for the stream. I haven't. I'm wearing it now, but I'm actually just recording the next video for next week. So I was wearing the uniform in the studio, in the Captain Joe studio, and now I'm here and I thought I'll join you on this chat. Okay, good. Oh, very good question, Lewis, right there. How long did it take me to finish paying off my loans? I can tell you that. Hang on. How do I get back here? Sorry. Here we are. It took me... Was it 6? I think 6 or 7. No, 6 years. It took me 6 years. Very harsh times, especially at the beginning. I didn't make a lot of money at the beginning because very often, especially with the company I worked before, is that they paid for my type rating, the Airbus A320 family rating. So that is a lot of money, and that is roughly 25,000 euros. So at the beginning of my career, and that's with most of the airlines, your salary is very, very low because you are repaying the company the type rating they've offered you more or less within the first year. So, but once you pass the first year, then your salary actually is fairly good. It's not too bad. Can I fly military jets? No, I can't, but I'd love to. I mean, a plane is a plane. Sure, I could if I did a lot of training on it, but no, I've never flown a military jet. I flew a, what's it called? A tornado simulator. That was great fun. I've done that. And I'd love to go in one of these MiGs or maybe a Eurofighter or whatever, just to go for it, to have some fun. Okay, Aaron, I'm going to go back. I'm coming, sorry. Someone just tried to call me. I'm just went offline real quick. What is my favorite country? That is a very easy question. This is my favorite country. I love the UK. Why do I love the UK? Because most of my childhood I spent in the UK. My grandparents are from the UK. My mum's from the UK. My godfather, he still lives there. He used to be an air traffic controller. He had a huge impact on my life regarding flying. Yeah, so I love the UK. All right. Did I have to move closer to the airport? No. Well, I was very lucky that my former airline sent me to, or stationary, gave me the home base in Munich, which is close to my home anyways, so I moved here. How long until you slide over to the right seat? That is a good question. Obviously, as I'm in a transition to change the company, as I'm going to go to a new company, that's going to take probably a few more years because all my seniority was lost after the bankruptcy of the former company. Yeah, that's just how it goes. But to be fair, I just want to go back flying. I am not that keen on becoming a captain. I mean, obviously I am eventually in a few years, I would like to, but at the moment I am a pilot without wings, so I need wings as quickly as possible. Joe, Concorde or TUI? No, none of them. Not going there. How many destinations have I flown to? No idea. 80 at least. I don't remember. Could be more, could be less. Do I want to fly the A380? Yes. By the way, what's his name? Pilot Alexander. There's a friend of mine from Doha. He lives, flies for Qatar. He's actually going to be type rated on the A380. I am so looking forward to meet him in Doha and actually, go out for a flight with him in the A380. That's going to be quite exciting. All right, what else have we got? Is flight school hard? I so often get this question. You can't really answer that question because to some of them it's easy. To be fair, it was fairly easy to me because I really wanted to become a pilot and it was so much fun doing it. But there's no real answer to say it's hard. Obviously, you have to work a lot for it, but because I was enjoying it and I had a lot of fun with it, it was very easy then for me. If you struggle with, maths and physics or whatever, then yes, flight school can be hard. I think that kind of answers the question. So there's no really yes or no. Okay, there's a few odd questions in here. What was my usual route? Again, that's a classic passenger question. I don't have a usual route because the company I flew before with Air Berlin, we flew entirely all across Europe. So I didn't do, Munich, Faro 10 times a week or whatever. I did all sorts of things within Europe. So it changed on a daily basis. Okay. What is your favorite executive aircraft? Great question right there from the Norwegian plane spotter. Yes, my favorite aircraft is the Beech King Air 200 because I used to fly that. It's a great plane. It is reasonably loud, but it's a great plane, and it's great, especially if you come out of flight school. It's fantastic, and I mean it's not the fastest plane on the earth, but it has a great braking performance because you can use the beta range, meaning you kind of use reverse thrust in the air to really slow it down, and it comes like I mean your seatbelt, so you get pulled into your seatbelt. That's how good the braking pressure is. Okay. Most extreme flight conditions from Filippo, I think it is. Turbulence, sure. Turbulence I've had or experienced many times. To be fair, being in the passenger seat and experience turbulence, that is the worst. I don't like that at all because I'd rather be in the cockpit in front because you have this massive view of 180 degrees, so you just see more. And the other one I had was really bad. I remember that came from St. Petersburg to Berlin. I think it's about 2 years ago, and it was a really nasty snowstorm, which, I mean, the plane just went back and forth, and I think we had something about nearly 50 knots, very close to the runway at crosswind, so that was close to the limit actually. 40 knots, and yeah, we did land, and as we touched down, we were the last plane to touch down, and all the colleagues behind us actually had to perform a go around because they then closed the airport because it was so difficult to land. Great fun though. I enjoyed that one. Emergency landing? No, never had that one. I've diverted a couple of times. Yeah, I actually diverted due to a volcanic ash situation. You remember when that volcano broke out in Iceland? I was up in the air, and I think it somehow bursted out twice, and then we were on our way from somewhere south in Italy to go to Berlin, and then we had to divert to Leipzig in Germany because apparently the volcanic ash spread out across the northern part of Germany, which it didn't, but still. Have you ever been to Finland? Yes, I've been to Finland many times. Great, fantastic country. Very nice people there. What airplane did I first learn to fly? Classic question. The Cessna 152. Was it 152? It's a tiny little plane. It's like the moped of the air. That's good fun. Oh yes, have you ever flown to Tel Aviv? Yes, many times. I've been to Tel Aviv at least 40 times, at least. Yeah, great airport. Great place. I've actually been there on a stag do last year was it this year? No, this year for 1 week. Fantastic place. Tel Aviv is a great place. Petra, was ist denn da los? Du willst, dass ich auf Deutsch spreche? Dann kann ich auch gerne einen Satz auf Deutsch sagen. Okay. Have I ever been to Ireland? Fantastic question. No, I have never. I'm ashamed of myself having a British passport that I've never ever been to Ireland. I am planning on going there. I'd love to go to Dublin, and then I've heard of many great stories about Dublin. Yes, on the list. Definitely have to go there. Okay. Gee, there's a lot of stuff here. Do I know Schleicher Flugzeugbau? No, I'm sorry. But they sound like a company who do interior of executive planes. Have I ever been to Portugal? Yeah, sure. Been many times to Portugal. Heart attack passenger. Yes, I've had that. Oh, actually, that's a false... sorry about that. I did have an emergency landing. Well, I had a medical landing due to a heart attack. Going to Palma de Mallorca. Yeah, we should have flown from... I think it was Ibiza to Berlin, and then just after the departure, one of the passengers had a heart attack, and then we landed in Palma. Yeah, we did that. Have I ever been to Poland? Yes, I have. Warsaw, many times. Great place. A lot of people underestimate Poland. It's a great country. Really like it. Have you ever been to South America? No, I have not. Ugh. Oh, great. No, I can't. Okay, good. Hang on. Which airline is the best for you? Tough, very tough question. There is an airline in the UK which I like them a lot. I like British Airways. I like their mentality. I like their thinking. More or less everything about it. The first flight I've ever been on was a British Airways flight, so I remember that. And yeah, great company. Have you ever been to India? Yes. Okay. So many questions. Yeah, the Micah Wimmer, Austrian Airlines is looking for pilots. I know, I have applied. Have I been to Hungary? Yeah, I've been to Budapest many times. Have I ever, that's a good question. Have I flown a glider? No, unfortunately not. I have been on a glider. A friend of mine invited me to come. Great fun. It's we did a couple of loops with it. That's good fun. But it is on my list. I want that in my license. So I am quite sure that I'll take a glider course in the near future. Good question. Is it easy to fly with a yoke? If you're not familiar with it, if you only used to Airbus flying the side stick, it is difficult. Not difficult, it's different. I mean, a learning curve is probably very steep. Did you ever land at Schiphol? No. Although my good friend Dutch pilot girl lives there, I am bound to fly there to visit her. No, I've never been to Schiphol. I've actually never been to Amsterdam. That's a bit of a shame. Okay. Crazy, all these questions, amazing. All right. Can you talk about flight school and what it is like? Well, we kind of covered that before. How many? All right. How many hours do I have? I have roughly 4,500 hours, which is it's all right. It's enough. Serbia. Yes, I've been to Serbia. Yes. What is my favorite livery? I like liveries with a bit of a background to it. For example, British Airways again had a livery on an A319. It was which they made it sort of, it had golden feathers and all. It was in remembrance of the Olympic in London from 2012. It was. I thought that was pretty good. Other than that, livery wise, Etihad, I like their new livery. That's fantastic. That really looks good. Yeah. What is my favorite airport and what is the least favorite? The favorite airport, just let's say the easiest to land on and which is just so convenient, is definitely Munich. Munich is great because Munich is very sorted. You got loads of space and it's not really, you can't do much wrong there. The one I don't like is Barcelona is okay, but Barcelona, the taxi routes on Barcelona are a total mess. And there's just so much we have to think about. Madrid, again, sorry about all the people from Spain. You have great airports, Mallorca is great, but Madrid and Barcelona, they're a bit of an issue. I don't really like them that much. Okay. The Ahornsaft is asking me if colleagues of mine have questioned me about my YouTube channel. Yes, they do. Actually, a lot of them do. It's the guys here from Munich. I got loads of support, meaning they sent me in their videos. They were you know, it was just great. I mean, Claudio, one of my favorite captains here from Munich, he you know, he actually always joined in the videos. He was happy to do the videos with me. So yeah, they actually came up a lot, and it was great. It was good fun, and yeah. How long do we spend time at a destination? Depending on where you fly to. For example, with Airline, we had loads of overnights in Mallorca. I think I've been to Mallorca at least 150 times, at least. I mean, overnight. We went there so often. You do sometimes, obviously, the shorter ones, if you have domestic flights, I don't know, let's say Munich to go to Berlin, you stay in Berlin half an hour, 45 minutes, and you fly back. And that's with most of the flights. If you have 2 flights a day, let's say Munich, Egypt, Hurghada, whatever, you fly to Hurghada, you spin around the plane and fly back. But sure, obviously, if you have layovers, you're there for more than 24 hours. That's a good question, Frederick. How long does it take to plan each route? Well, we don't necessarily, if you work for a bigger airline, you don't necessarily, well, you don't really plan the route. The route is planned out for you, meaning that the dispatcher will give you, or you get all the documents, and then you just, you more or less check the weather, do the fuel calculations. There are suggested fuel figures on there, and then you just add whatever you need as necessary. Yeah, that's about it. So, I mean, if you considered a briefing for each flight takes 20 minutes, not longer than that. Okay, Greece. Yes, many times to Greece. What do I do in mid-flight? I do a lot of fuel calculations, checking fuel, checking weather, especially during the winter time. You know, looking up if the airport is closed, because especially the further south you fly within Germany, Munich, Stuttgart, and Nuremberg, they are destined to be closed because, I mean, there is a lot of snowfall, and yeah, and then you just have to look out for that. Have I flown to Lanzarote? Yes, I have. Great airport. Lanzarote is one of my, actually, probably the most famous airport for me with the Canary Islands. But Lanzarote is very short, meaning if you go there with an A320 and it's fully loaded with passengers and full fuel, you always need sort of 14 tons of fuel. Sometimes it's the maximum takeoff weight is not reached, but because the runway is so short, you have to sometimes actually leave, not passengers there, but you have to leave some cargo there that you can actually take off from the runway. It's a very short runway, depending on which direction you go. I have to admit that, yeah. What do you think of Finnair? I've actually done wet lease flying for Finnair. Finnair is great. They're a great company. I was stationary for a couple of days in Helsinki. Really had a great time. So me and the captain, we were in flying Air Berlin planes with the Air Berlin livery on it. But the cabin crew, they were from Finnair, and they're really nice. I mean, definitely a great company. Yeah. What was my last flight? Actually, a friend of mine was on that flight. He's the guy who does all the visuals in the videos with the flight simulator. He gets these in. That was Simon and Florian. They actually went on the flight, and we flew from Munich to Catania and back. That was a good flight. Oh yes, greetings to Costa Rica. Never been, should go. Yes, I've been to Malta. Malta, fantastic little island, great approach, really, really good. 777X or A350. Sorry, A350. Are any of my DJ sets online? Unfortunately not. I should actually put some online. That's a good question. Who was that? Tim. All right, Tim, I'll put some up on SoundCloud. I'll let you know. Do I prefer FAA rules or European rules? Well, there's not been that difference, really. No, well, probably Europe because I'm here most of the time. 787 or A50. Sorry, it's again the A350. I really, really like that plane. Just visually, it just is stunning. It's fantastic. Okay, guys, I am actually running a little bit low on battery here as well. Do I like ILS? Yes. ILS is easy, meaning it is reliable. It works most of the time. Let's say to 99% of the time. I've never had trouble with any ILS. I did. Well, I've had a. That's actually, I think Mental Pilot talked about this already. It's when you come in for landing for an ILS, and there's a plane at the runway hold, at the threshold, waiting. It can interfere with the ILS, so sometimes your localizer goes back and forth for your glide slope. I've experienced that once. I didn't have to perform a go around because visual conditions were great, but I've heard of people who had to perform a go around due to that. And yes, but flying an ILS, because it's, let's say 90% of the time you fly ILSs, flying an NDB in an Airbus is great fun. VR approaches or anything else like non-position approaches are a lot of fun. They're great, but because they're challenging. Did you ever land in strong wind? Yes, many times. I've had a lot of crosswind landings. All right, Rana, my good friend Rana is just writing a message. Hey Rana, thanks for watching. Okay. Oh, by the way, there's one thing I need to mention. Mentor Pilot. He is a good friend of mine, and I know many of you know him. I know that a lot of people are asking me and him, when are we doing our first collaboration? Now, I would love to. The thing is that at the moment, I have to prioritize my job hunt. So I'm still going through a lot of assessments. I haven't chosen the job yet, but I'm hopefully going to decide that very soon. And as soon as I'm back in a plane, meaning I'm in a type rating or whatever, if I have to change another company with another plane, then I'll promise you that Petter and I will meet up and we'll do a video together. I know many people are looking forward to this, and he's definitely a fantastic guy. He does amazing videos. He's actually an inspiration for me because he does great stuff. So definitely follow him. Don't leave him out. He's a great guy. All right. Thank you very much for, by the way, a huge thank you for all the guys who keep, posting saying that they love my channel and all the work. I highly appreciate your feedback. You have no idea how much this means to me. All right. All right, my buddies are just annoying me with messages saying what I'm doing. Okay. All right, what else? Have you been to Iran? No, I have not been to Iran. I want to go because a good friend of mine actually comes from Iran, so I definitely have to go. Yes, good God, there's a lot of stuff. But there's a question here coming up. What planes can I fly? Yes, I can fly the A320 family. That meaning that includes 18, 19, 20, and 21. So that's 4 planes actually. I still have my Pilatus Porter rating. It's a class rating. If you don't know what a Pilatus Porter is, check it out and just Google it. You'll see it's a horrible looking plane, but it does the job, and it's very well known for skydiving pilots. And there used to be this BBC series out with it's something the worst place to be a pilot or whatever. All these guys, the bush pilots in Vietnam and Laos and wherever, they fly a lot of Porters. So definitely check out the Pilatus Porter. Good God, all these questions. Have I landed in Lithuania? No, I haven't. No, I have never been there. Argentina? No, I haven't been there. Okay, some smiley faces about the Pilatus. Yes, I know, it's a weird looking plane. Am I a real German or not? Well, let's say I'm 50-50. Finnair A350 or Turkish Airlines Boeing 777? Sorry, Finnair. No way. Have to go with Finnair. There's a what? What was that? Okay, it's a weird question. Yes, I have been to South Africa, and I'm going to South Africa in February. Going to a wedding. Really looking forward to that. All right, you guys, I've been, I think, online long enough. We're coming up to 35 minutes, and I think my battery's actually running out. I have to really look out for this. No, I haven't landed there yet. Gee. Have I ever been distracted by an air hostess? What the hell? No, I'll just say no to that. Never been to China. I've been to Atlanta. Yes, I've been there on a holiday actually, but I've never flown there. But Atlanta seems to be the airport to be. Put in a charger, yeah. Have you ever had a bird strike? Oh yes, bird strike. Great question. Bird strike. Yes, I've had many bird strikes. Not necessarily always into the engine intake. And you know that I'm sure that many of you have seen. Okay, I'm gonna put in the charger. All right, give me a few minutes because I'm worried that I'm gonna die here on battery. Oopsie daisy. Right, here we go. All right, I set this up. I hope my phone's not gonna fall down. All right, no, gee, sorry about that. Okay, bird strike. Yes, I've experienced bird strikes a couple of times. And I'm not sure if you've seen these rumors that apparently if a bird goes through the engine that it gives this chicken kind of smell. And this is actually not a rumor, it really does. And then you actually know you've actually hit a bird. I've hit birds numerous times on the fuselage, and it always gives quite a bit of a loud bang. And then obviously you have to do a visual inspection. If it's in departure, you really closely have to monitor your engine instruments. If it's during landing, well, yeah, I mean, if it's 50 feet to the ground, you just land. But what I actually worry more about, it's not that I don't really mind if they go through the engines, if it's like pigeons or whatever. They're so small it doesn't really matter. But if they go through the pitot tube, meaning that we'll get an unreliable airspeed, I think that is even worse than an engine failure for most of the pilots. So that is my bigger concern. Engines, not too worried about that. Did you watch Sully and the Crew? Well, I haven't watched that movie. Can you believe, being a pilot, I haven't watched that movie yet, but I'm definitely planning on doing that during Christmas. Okay. Was it hard? All right, there's a good question here from Pilot Kevin. I actually want to come to that because he asked me, when did you start your pilot training and was it hard? There's a few things which have dramatically changed since I've become a pilot, because it's been 10 years. No, has it been 2017? Yeah, 2017. I've started to become a pilot. I went to flying school. And you have to know that my parents and my friends back then had nothing to do with aviation. So no one could help me in a way of letting me know, okay, Joe, this way you have to go, and this path, blah, blah, do this and this. This was not the case. When I started flying or went to flight school, I had no idea what I was doing and what I was going in for. I knew I wanted to become a pilot, but all these, I didn't even know what a PPL was. It was so many words, it was so confusing. But nowadays, the information you get on aviation, I mean, just look at Mental Pilot's channel, or look at my channel. I mean, it's just overwhelming. You better than anyone else, probably you can prepare yourself better than any instructor by now, because there's just so much information on the internet. So I don't want to say if it's hard if you don't prepare for it. It's easy if you prepare well for it. Then I think anything in life is easy if you prepare. Yes. Is Joe your actual name? Yes, it is. Yes, we'll just keep it that way. Yes, my name is actually Joe. All right, my best bud just asking me, did I like the Star Wars film? Yes, I loved it. We went to Star Wars last night. Fantastic movie. I mean, definitely have to see it. I really enjoyed it. Okay, hang on. How's the pilot life? Great. Have I ever been to New Zealand? Oh, massive question. Thank you very much, Alex. Please be my host in New Zealand. I would love to come. I've never been. A friend of mine said, Joe, you've never seen blue and green if you've never been to New Zealand. So yeah, invite me to that. Invite me there. Alright, what else have we got? Oh, when was my first flight ever? I should check that. Actually, I don't even know when. It's been a while. Have I landed in the USA? Well, I have during flight training. Ryanair? Yeah. No comment on that. Jonas, Oleg, have I got Abitur? Yes, I have Abitur. Do I have a wife? Nope. Do some pilots smoke? Yes, some pilots smoke. Not in the cockpit, but outside. Okay. Gee, this is so much stuff. Stockholm Arlanda. Yes, I've been many times. Ever flown to Wales? Oh, no, unfortunately not. I should. Wales is great. All right. No. Innsbruck. Innsbruck is one of them airports I really, really want to go to. I've flown there with a little plane, but I always wanted to go there with the Airbus, but I never did. It's a bit of unfortunate, yeah. Have I been to Africa? Yes, I've been to South Africa. Any scary landings? Graz. No, never been to Graz. Oh yeah. All right, here, big topic. Medical advice. Guys, all right, balancing my phone here. Please do me a favor and don't ask me medical questions. The thing is, a lot of you guys have worries about your eyes and ears and whatever. The thing is, I cannot give you any advice. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know most of the regulations. What I do, in the past, I did take some of your questions and took them to my medical doctor, ask him about it, and then he would say, okay, this is fine or this is not. But please do not seek advice from me regarding medical advice, because I am not the person to judge if you're going to become a pilot or not. If I would say no, and then you would never, get professional advice, I could ruin your whole career. So please do not ask me those kind of questions. I hope you understand why. All right. What else do we have here? Gee. Salzburg, yeah, many times. Salzburg is great. Have I shown kids the cockpit? Yes, that is still a common thing to do. It's actually it's so funny. Very often the kids come. It's actually always the dad or one of the parents asking, "Can the kids to check out the cockpit?" But then the kid comes in, gets really scared, and walks out, and it's always the parent coming in, and then wants to get a look for himself. It's pretty good. What is more interesting to fly, the Airbus or the Pilatus Porter? All right. That is a very tricky question. I could answer that so badly. Both. Okay. The Porter is a fantastic plane to get experience. I mean, going on doing these skydiving, being a skydiving pilot, I think is one of the most challenging pilot jobs out there because it's up and down, up and down. I did like 35 flights a day, and the flight lasted like 35 minutes, but it's always obviously it involves a takeoff and a landing, and it is highly dangerous, especially as the door then at the back of the plane opens, and then you're in 15,000, 14,000 feet. It gets reasonably cold, and then they all jump out, and yeah, that definitely is very challenging. Airbus is obviously technical wise much more challenging. It's so much is more advanced obviously, but flying wise Airbus is definitely easier. But what you have to know all about the Airbus is not comparable to the Porter. I mean, the Porter's got make it 50 switches, and then an Airbus has more than 450. So there's a huge difference. Yeah. Okay, let me see what else we have. Have you ever been nervous when you speak to ATC? Nope. ATC is on your side. They're always good. Am I working on Christmas Day? No, I'm off. I'm not working at the moment at all. All right, guys, we're gonna have to come to an end at one stage. We're down to 45 minutes. Okay, that was a good question by Biko. Can you combine being a pilot and having a girlfriend? Yes, you can. It is, I think your girlfriend has to be aware that you're out most of the time, depending if you're a long-haul pilot or a short range. If you're going on long haul, you're like out for 5 days to a week or so, that can be really challenging on your relationship. But if you're doing domestic flights only, you're home every evening, that can be challenging as well. So it's a win-win for both, but I think it could work. Yeah, I mean most of my friends of pilot friends have girlfriends, and I know their relationship's fine. So yeah. Am I planning to come to Africa again? Yes, I am. Well, I'm coming in February, and well, I'm not sure when we'll be back then, but still. Where did I get my pilot training? Flight Safety Academy in Vero Beach, Florida. Yes, I've landed in Israel many times. Toronto. No, I've never been to Toronto. I'd love to. Have you ever had a flap or gear lever failure? Oh yeah, we had a gear recycle once. Yeah, I extended the gear. Something went wrong with it. It did extend, but the indication was false. So meaning one of them was red. So you had to put the lever back up again and recycle it, and then it was fine. That was the only thing I've had. That was actually quite at the beginning of my career. Yes, I've been to Copenhagen. Kuwait, no, never been. Lisbon, yes, I've been. When is the next live stream? Okay, let's talk a few more things about the upcoming videos. All right, there will be a video special coming out next week about the updates for next year. Next year is going to be a complete game changer. A lot of updates, a lot of changes, but a lot of great stuff. Obviously, all in your interest. And yeah, so next week will be there'll be a video out next Thursday. So more or less the one for the end of the year, and then in January we'll see. Landed in Heathrow? Yes, landed in Heathrow. Northern Ireland? No. Okay, I'm gonna have to come down to a stop, otherwise this is going to go forever. This was great fun. I want to say sorry about the start at the beginning, that the live stream didn't work out. My bad. I kind of thought it will just do a couple of clicks and it will work. I want to say thank you very much for your interest. I really appreciate that there's so many guys online watching this stream. I know it's difficult to answer all the questions of all of you guys. I mean, I can't even count how many questions we've got. But I'll go through some of the stuff I saw on the chat right now, and maybe I can filter some questions out for the future videos. I will wish you now a fantastic Christmas. I hope you enjoy it with your family and friends, and get great presents. And I'll see you latest next week with a video. And if you want me to do more of these live streams, just let me know. I think this seems like is great fun, and maybe sometimes we can concentrate on more topics. Let's say, okay, this live stream will be more about, I don't know, system knowledge or hydraulics or whatever, and then in another one it will be more about weather. What a difficult topic there still. Yeah, so we'll do that maybe in the future. There's a lot to come. I'm really looking forward to 2018. Have a nice evening. Thank you very much for your time. Wish you all the best. You're Captain Joe.